Welcome to the third and last installment in the DES2 Unit 6 Basic Section Views Section View Worksheet Sketch Tutorial. And now we are at step 4, which is to project over our lines to the right side view plane. We're going to use our triangle with 45, 45, 90 angles. And we're going to line that triangle up with the center of the front view. If we draw a 45 in this manner, any lines we project over will be the same spacing as they are in the existing top view and all consistent distances. And we're going to pick up each of the hard corners that we see and we're going to project those to the right to our projection line, starting with the front. It's projected over to the 45. And that'll establish the spacing between the views. Then we move on to the, broke a lid again. Now we're moving on to the next corner, which is the small diameter of the flange. Moving on to the outside diameter to the top of the large diameter of the flange. And our last one is the back of the part. And we're going to go ahead and put in a line for the slot. Alright, slot depth. Now we're going to transfer all of those lines straight down, starting with the front, which establishes our, and the back, which establishes the width of the part and spacing of the view. So we get a scale set up, and we try to hold that scale stable while we slide the triangle back and forth. And so first we're going to project down the front. Alright, moving on to the depth of the slot projection. The next line is the top of the small diameter of the flange. The next projection line is the large diameter of the flange at the top. And the last mark projects down the back of the part, giving us our overall width. Okay, so we've projected pretty much everything we can from the top view. Okay, so now we've projected the bottom, which you can't see, it's off the screen, but I was doing pretty much what I'm doing here right now is I'm projecting over the lines that establish the diameter from the front view and then erasing off the corner tails so that we have the volume of the view established inside this rectangle on the right. Now the spacing between the views should be the same. And we're going to start plotting our corners, starting with the back edge. And plotting the corresponding corners. And it looks like we're doing it down on the bottom off screen. And I'm connecting the dots for the back edge to establish the back edge of the part. And then putting in the horizontal edge corners. We're focusing on visible edges of the profile right now. And next we're going to take and transfer the corner that makes up the next size down diameter. So from the front view we transfer over, project the line over. And establish that point. And then also the top of that falls between it and the next projected line. Now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom view, bottom of the view. Okay, now we're going to project the end points for the boss. So that line should go from the top to the same intersect line that our small diameter of the flange terminated at. Okay, so now we're going to connect the corners. That top corner and the top corner of the boss. If we connect all those dots, the outside profile is taking shape. Okay, so now we're going to do the slot, which was projected down from the top view. Okay, now the slot is interrupted by the center bore. Okay, we're going to project over the holes, which in a section view are going to occur as a solid visible line. Okay, and we're going to do the one end of the bore, which goes all the way through the part. Opposite side of the bore. And I'm going to erase the horizontal line on the slot that's interrupted by the bore in that zone. It should occur beyond the viewing plane. Let's get rid of all these construction lines. We should see the outside perimeter of our part. Okay, now this other hole is not projected straight over because the cutting plane is at an angle. It's as if we rotate it in the view and then project it over. So the distance from center for the hole is going to be the same as the top. So we're going to just count squares for our spacing for placement of the second hole in our view. Okay, so now we're going to erase all our construction lines in preparation to do our cross hatching. Okay, and before we do our cross hatching, we're going to put in our center lines to our right side view. So that would include our center bore and our 2 bolt holes. Just step 5 is to put our crosshatch patterns on the surfaces that were cut by the cutting plane. We're going to use the cast iron pattern, which is a 45-degree angle. So I'm using my 45-degree triangle and a scale to allow me to slide it by. And we'll start at the top. And it's best practice to have this as consistent as possible. And we crosshatch just the zone that would be sectioned by the section line. Now, I've realized I made a mistake, so let's hold back. What we've got here is their slot here is not in the area. It occurs in the plane behind the top half of the section, but it doesn't occur in the zone of the bent section. So actually we shouldn't have that line there. So let's erase that. And that's material that's been cut through. So it is going to have cross hatches on it. And then we'll continue with our cross hatches. Okay, there we go. We're pretty much done with the section view for our 2 portions of the cutting plane line. Now you need to make sure your section view is labeled with 2 letters, and it would be section AA in this example. There you go. That ends this tutorial. And don't forget, if you get frustrated, have a Bob Ross moment. Go see him paint a happy little tree and you'll be happy afterwards. Or at least calm down. This concludes this lecture, and we'll catch you on the next one.